ladies and gentlemen. Okay, so today we're going to be talking about observational drawing. So what I need you to do is you're going to actually take a moment and you're going to copy down what you see. Actually, the one thing I'm going to cover over what I don't want you to do, I don't want you to write this part, okay? Actually, there we go, okay? Copy down everything you see. Write down the division lines. Write observational drawing. Draw what you see and not what you think you see. All right? So take a moment. Let's copy that down. Pause the video. Also, while you're paused, okay, I do want you to pick up like 2 or 3 objects that have simple shapes to them, okay? Kind of grabbed like incomplete, empty Play-Doh. I grabbed, a glue stick and a ball, okay? So go ahead and copy down. Excellent. Perfect. All right, so we're going to talk about drawing what we see and not what we think we see, all right? Now, we're all going to draw this ball together, all right? So we can kind of map out a couple of things. But before we go, I want us to go through some of these tips that I have here, okay? So the first thing we want to do when we're drawing is we want to map out what our object looks like. So basically we look for solid shapes that kind of go in our drawing to help us kind of bulk things up. So for example, when I draw this, I see a circle, okay? Drawing this, okay, when I'm looking at it, I kind of see a rectangle with some curves on the top. Cool. All right, when I'm looking at my pyramid, okay, when I see my pyramid, I actually kind of see triangles, but they're not like regular triangles, they're kind of like slanted triangles, all right? So let's see what the next one. The next one is contour and main lines, all right? Now, these are the lines that are going to be the outside lines, the main darker lines. Now, when we work like nice and soft, and we get a little bit darker. Last are our fine details. Our fine details are the color, the shade, cleanup, sorry, that's a P, and small details, all right? Now, let's see if we can put these into play. And by the way, if you hear my puppy in the background, he is not happy because I'm not paying attention. So I am sorry. All right, so let's start off with mapping out. So we know that the thing that we're drawing is a circle. So I'm gonna map it out lightly. So I know that it's gonna be somewhere in there that I'm gonna do my circle. So mapping out, perfect. Next, I'm going to do my main lines. Now, my mapping helps me figure out the direction I need to go into, okay? There we are. All right, so I have the map out. Next I'm going to do is I'm going to put in some of these other lines in here when I am looking at it. I have it here. I have one going across. Does it look like much? Nope, doesn't look like much, but I'm drawing exactly the lines on where they are. Okay, draw what you see. That means I'm looking at not what you think you see. A lot of times people are like, I know what that looks like. Listen, I know you know what these all look like, but I want you to look at the object. All right, so let's go to the next. I see this shape here, and I see a curve here, and I see a curve there, okay? Now, that doesn't look right. Is that right? No, because they're even. So let's go back and fix it. Is it up and down? Yeah, that's better. So this is a good stage on which to fix any kind of mistakes or alters. Okay, so that looks good. Let's move that over. Actually, let me see if I can move this over a little bit more so you guys can see. Oh, there we go. Sorry about that. All right, so we have that. Now, I have a light source. I took my camera on my phone and I made it my flashlight, all right? So when I'm looking at this, okay, we can kind of see like the shadows behind it. So let's go put this in. So I know that there's a shadow underneath. Okay. It's a really long shadow, but I'm gonna kind of keep it small. All right, and we're gonna add it in. Now you probably have learned different ways to put shadows, okay? And it is up to you on how you put your shadow. I am going for a smooth technique, so I'm going to fill it in. Oh my heavens, my puppy is so unhappy upstairs. But unfortunately, he was eating some of my cords. Was not good. All right, so I got my shadow. This, by the way, is called the cast shadow because it is cast onto the table. Now I see the darkness right here, so I'm going to put that in. This is a different kind of shadow. This right here is called the core shadow. Okay, core shadow is kind of like your core object. Now these lines are darker, so I want to make that a little bit brighter, okay? All right. Oh my heavens, my puppy's so unhappy. All right, so we have that. Now you do have some spaces where it's a little brighter, okay? So we're gonna put them in. These are called, so let's put in, this is the core shadow. And on the top we have the highlight. All right. Last but not least is the light itself. The light itself, okay? I know, never put it in the corner, but for now, we'll be okay. This is called the light source. Okay, so the light source here. For this space, just so we can get into the practice of things, you're gonna draw 2 objects. Okay, they should be relatively simple, all right? I'm not looking for you to grab the hardest thing that you have around you. I would like simple shape, okay? Just so you can get into the habit of practicing shading, okay? Get into those shading skills. I know it's been, a while since we've done them, but it's always good. And just looking at objects, okay? So for example, my Play-Doh. I would go in and I'm gonna hold it at a different angle because you don't see this at the same angle as I do. And I would look at every detail and I'm kind of mapping it out, putting in the shapes that I see. Okay, then I'm going in and I'm cleaning up the lines. Okay, so I have my contour lines. All right, there we are. And I would just go in. All right, so what I would highly suggest is that you take a moment, okay, pause the video, and go in and draw your 2 objects here, okay? And put in all the details and add in your shading, okay? Now, how do we find the shadows? We squint. You got it, okay? There we are. See how that kind of is now starting to like really to unfold. So this actually is all dark for me because it is the inside of this. All right. Of course, you'd have to put the Play-Doh because the Play-Doh is what? It's a fine detail. You got that. Okay. All right. So 2 objects there. When you're done, please turn back on the video. All right, excellent. So the next thing, so now that we have 2 objects here, we have one here and we have one here. All right, don't forget, I would like you to put in your shading for yours as well. The bottom one right here, this one's gonna be a little bit more, in depth. I want you to find 2 objects, okay? But I want you to stack them. Stack. Okay, so what does it mean to stack? Put one on top of the other, okay? But, try not to be so they're like in line. I want it to look like there's 2, okay? So now we're starting to really develop a little drawing here. So get 2, put it on. So to you, it looks like this. But to me, when I'm drawing it, it looks like this, okay? Look at all the details, add those shadows. By the way, another way that if you can't find your shadows, turn off the lights and get that flashlight out and just see where your little design, okay? All right, so let's take a moment, pause the video, and you're gonna draw two objects right here stacked. All right, last but not least, we need to talk about a still life. What is a still life? Okay, so a still life is a group of inanimate objects. Okay, we ran out of space. There we go. Okay, inanimate objects are things that don't have like a face. Okay, so if it's a bug or if it's let's see, how about this, a face that's breathing, because you could have a skeleton skull. All right, that is definitely an object that you could draw. Okay, person. Things that you might find are maybe traditional still lifes are flowers and fruits and stuff like that. But still lifes can also be a pair of keys. Okay, it could be as simple as maybe, here, let me kind of set something up that might be a still life. Okay, so it could be something like this with a pencil. Okay, if you just arrange it in like a way that you see as being, okay, like visually pleasing to you. Okay, so this could be my still life right here. All right. So let's talk about a few things about still lifes. One, the layout of your paper. Okay, so layout. We know that when it goes up and down, it's portrait. Long ways is an awful rectangle. This is called landscape. It's up to you on how you hold your paper. Okay. Next is, how do you arrange your objects? Okay, arrangement. Just so you know, there are two common ways, okay? One is a triangle that goes right down the middle. Another one is a triangle that's a little bit to the left or a little bit to the right. You're like, what does that mean? All right, so let's say I took my still life, all right, and I laid it out here, okay, and you had it here, all right? You can kind of see the triangle that it's creating, all right? You have, yes, this is something a little bit bigger, but that's okay because it still fits in the triangle, all right? Another one might be, let's find something that's more, I guess. So we have here, maybe down here, okay? And maybe you might have something up here where it's kind of symmetrical in both ways. That might be a layout that you choose, okay? So you guys see? Oh, good, you can see. Okay, perfect. I had to check the view. All right, so there's two different ways you can do your still life. My suggestion is when you do still lifes, you want to layer things, okay? So layer objects, okay? Doesn't look very cool when things are in a line, all right? Although, some artists have, but when you kind of overlap things like this, it gives a better kind of sense of depth, okay? So layering or overlapping, okay? So let's put slash overlap, all right? Now, points of view. How can we view this? What way? Do we have to always have it from eye level? Where are we looking straight on at it? So eye level would be here and the bowl would be here. I know it's a weird bowl. Here, let me do that bowl. Okay. And we'll put like a little flower. I love them. Next one is ant view. Ant view is a little different. Ant view is the idea that we see it, but we see under it. Okay, so almost like we're looking upwards, all right? So we're looking up at it, all right? And then we have bird view. So we're looking down on it. So a still life might look like this. And you have around it, there we go, the actual cup, okay? All depends on how you're looking at it. Now, a couple of tips, the yeses, like yes, you can do that. Okay, I'm gonna move that over so you guys can see it a little better. There we go, let's move this out of the shadow, okay? Is yes, you can go off the page. Don't cram it all in the middle, people. Spread it out, okay? Yes, you can zoom in. It's kind of nice. Yes, you can do different angles. You're like, what does that mean? Well, you could take your still life and it could be crooked, like this. Like instead of straight on, it can go a little crooked, okay? Anything else you think of? Yes, for this assignment, okay, you can use a blending stump. Okay, a blender is a certain type of thing where you can take a tissue or a paper towel and you can roll it up nice and tight and you can help blend it, okay? And all of these, by the way, all of these tips, all of the shading can be done with color pencil too. Same kind of way. You just have to pick a color and you're able to do it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, what I want you to do is after you're done with this, I want you to upload it into the Google Classroom, okay? Now there is one more video that I want you to watch, all right, before you start your project. So make sure you watch the other video before you start. And that's it.